Gone Game Season 2 streaming on Mood Select. We've had lots of jokes right now, लेकिन Mood Select पर आप देखिएगा इस वीकेंड से. My name is रोहिणी, मैं हूँ आपकी रेडियो की हीरोइनी एंड रेडियो नशा पर आप सुनते हैं the best of the 70s, 80s and 90s. 90s स्वयं मेरे सामने बैठे हैं संजय कपूर के रूप में.
90s में तो संजय. Thank God 70s में नहीं हूँ.
And then of course he's flanked by these beautiful, accomplished, gorgeous actors.
Yes.
मैं actresses नहीं बोलती because यार मतलब gender we need to leave that behind in 2022.
Absolutely.
Gorgeous actors and accomplished actors. सर लेकिन आपकी पोजीशन बहुत अच्छी है क्योंकि आपने इस इंटरव्यू से पहले कहा कि आप कहाँ बैठे हैं तीन देवियों के बीच में.
बिल्कुल तीन देखो. I feel like देव साहब यार.
ओह वाह क्या बात है. And I love it that it's this combo because मैंने कहा था कि यार ये मुझे देखना है. Talk to me first about the relationship that you guys share because आप लोग बहुत खुश हो गए जब आप लोग बैठे हैं यहाँ पे. क्यों श्वेता?
क्योंकि हम दोनों और हम तीनों सर के इतने बड़े फैंस हैं कि जब भी चांस मिलता है ऑन स्क्रीन के साथ होने का या ऑफ स्क्रीन या फिर खाना खाने का या कैन से सिंगल मॉल्ट एंजॉय करने का
बिल्कुल
तो हम बहुत खुशी से करते हैं. इनफैक्ट जब पता चला कि हम सिर्फ लिमिटेड डेज के लिए कर रहे हैं लाइक अरे इसके प्रमोशंस तो हम रोज कर सकते हैं हफ्ते में.
Yes, and so you were very happy to meet each other in the promotion.
Absolutely. Also because season 1 हमने इतना अकेले आइसोलेशन में जो शूट किया है तो एक तो जब season 2 हुआ जो साथ में किया and then we had Harleen also joining us. So it was a blast. Yeah, I truly enjoyed it.
Harleen, you're new to the franchise, which I think is so exciting because जब मैंने teaser देखा Gone Game 2 का, I'm already saying 3, so it's coming out. Gone Game season 2 का, I saw you. So talk to me about the fact that were you a part of this before, like a couple of months before? So did you have to prep? तुमने season 1 देखा क्या, कहानी देखी क्या? Because you had some material जहाँ से तुम start कर सकती हो.
Right. So I remember I auditioned for this part last January.
Oh.
And
because ये show हमारा 2020 में आया था.
जी हाँ.
And then
COVID
2021 में we started planning season 2.
जी हाँ.
Sorry, I'm not taking a.
no, you are taking my life.
No, but I'm just saying because I was part of it, so I'm giving the backstory.
But it's from the 90s. It's
Yeah.
okay.
So 2021 में
Yeah.
and then the COVID and thing happened. That's the reason, you know, the casting and we kind of knew the line and everything and now Harleen.
Can I take over?
Yes.
दीदी बताइए.
So I remember auditioning for this in January and then जब सामने से ऐसा कोई positive response आया then I was like I missed watching this series but then immediately I went back to it and I said you know let me see it and within a span of because it's a mini series actually तो वो ऐसे निकल गई and you know I remember I was sitting alone. No, I was sitting with my mom in the house and it was I completely like you know switched off all the lights and I was enjoying the pace of the show. I was enjoying the music so much. So the next very day, you know, I called them up and I said, you know,
करना है.
let's do this because I genuinely enjoyed the plot. I enjoyed all the performances. Hats off to them how they managed to shoot like this, be so authentic to their own characters. Being at home in front of their own people, it's hard to do emotional scenes, you know. At least मुझे ऐसे लगता है.
Yeah.
So the fact
Definitely.
that
नहीं, it's
the
tough,
fact
yeah.
that but you said you self-shot it.
No, I know self-shot, but घर पे like she's correctly saying, you know, at home, finally it's your house, it's not a set. You know, the very fact that you sit in the car and you go for a shoot, you're out. Like I always enjoy the outdoor shoot more because you're cut off from everything.
Yeah.
It's not that, you know, you love your family and everything, but when you are doing an intense thing and everything, you may be having fun on set.
Yeah.
But you're still cut off. The fun is with, you know, all of us together. But you're still in that zone only.
Zone
so you're sleeping, you know, even if it's pack up, then you're having dinner together, you go next day, even if you, like, when you go for a long out, it's not necessary you shoot every day.
Yeah.
But you're still in that zone only. So, coming back to a thing, when you shoot it at home, even though they are not there, but you just feel, यार अब कोई बेडरूम से बाहर तो नहीं आ जाएगा मैं ये परफॉर्म कर रहा हूँ या कोई my son should not come out. So somewhere before the shot you are little distracted.
Yes.
So it wasn't that easy because you're thinking if they've called maybe somebody from the kitchen may just cross through. So it's not that all these things didn't go through. And still we kind of managed and I think so I should thank my house people that they were very patient at least when I was
All of
shooting.
us.
बिल्कुल,
You know, like
बिल्कुल.
those 4-5 hours. And another thing that I want to add, normally as an actor you shoot 12 to 13 hours.
Yeah.
At least earlier when I started off it was even 15 hours. अभी थोड़ा सा experience है तो मैं बोलता हूँ 12 घंटे से
ज़्यादा मत करवाओ जी हाँ।
But in season 1 because you were doing so much after 4-5 hours it used to get exhausted because you're the only actor.
Yeah.
So there is no even that normally an actor gets a time to wait for 5 minutes के lighting हो रही है कुछ हो रहा है यहाँ आप lighting भी खुद कर रहे हो अगर वो ड्रिंक चाहिए शॉट में तो आप लेके जा रहे हो आपको कैमरा अगर लाइट चेंज करनी है वो भी आप कर रहे हो तो आफ्टर 4-5 hours and then you're transferring everything.
जी हाँ।
So mentally I used to get exhausted after 4-5 hours which normally after 12 hours you get tired. So that was the kind of a thing. After 5 hours, at least the season 1, I couldn't shoot, and there is nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
You're only talking to gadgets. Only talking to gadgets.
But you know what? I think season 1's victory was not just the fact that आपने self shoot किया था, आपने self shoot किया था और also show इतना gripping था, right?
Obviously,
And I
it's the
think
show.
लोगों ने इतना पसंद किया. What a great response. Do you remember that response?
Yeah.
You know, क्योंकि हम सब घर के अंदर थे जब response आया था.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
Yeah.
एंड वो देख के बहुत अच्छा लगता है क्योंकि जब भी आप कोई काम करते हो आप तो पूरे प्यार और शिद्दत से करते हो
बिल्कुल।
लेकिन जब उसको वो कोई रिसीव करता है एंड ऑल्सो द थिंग इज इवन द वायरस क्योंकि हमारे जितने भी शोज आ रहे हैं इतना रेलिवेंट इन टर्म्स ऑफ टुडे कोई शो नहीं है
जी हाँ,
वो बातें होती हैं मतलब किसी भी वो एरा में हो सकते हैं या किसी भी ईयर में होते हैं बट आई डोंट थिंक ये 2000 लिटरली 22 की बात हो रही है इसमें वेयर वायरस इज ऑल्सो अ लूमिंग यू नो विलन है
Character.
इट्स अ कैरेक्टर क्योंकि अब मास्क हैं ये सब है तो वो पूरा एक्सपीरियंस जो रहा है इन फ्रंट ऑफ द कैमरा और बिहाइंड you felt like that so that was great and season 2 में the best part was it's been directed by one of my favorite directors Abhishek Sengupta the music the way he shot it and also we got to play with each other जो कि season 1 में नहीं
हुआ
तो और season 1 की ये जो मेहनत है वो की हमने बट ये भी हो गया था कि अब ये
बहुत हो गया
वापस नहीं होगी क्योंकि डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स और डिफरेंट एचओडीज होते हैं फॉर अ रीजन
जी हाँ,
अब उनको आप हटा दोगे और हम ही अगर
हम ही
एक
कर
कर
देंगे।
देंगे
Nee,
तो फिर वो मजा भी नहीं आता है
because you need your fellow actor
Yeah.
to
Energy.
energy के
Energy के लिए,
लिए
yeah,
कि if you are वो सुर अगर अकेले हो सुर गलत जा रहा है तो आप दूसरे एक्टर का लगता है कि नहीं एक सुर ये होना चाहिए और एंड देन यू आर इम्प्रोवाइजिंग इसलिए वो रिहर्सल होती है वो होती है देन यू कम टू अ सर्टेन पिच ऑफ दैट होल थिंग तो सीजन 1 फॉर्चुनेटली गॉड वाज काइंड के एवरीथिंग एंड थैंक्स टू निखिल हु डायरेक्टेड
Yeah.
मिस्टर निखिल बट he was the only person because we really didn't know what
कि
was happening.
बाकियों का क्या
क्या हो रहा है कौन कैसे परफॉर्म कर रहा है we were not being able to see anything or
was a
whatever it is
miracle. That season
yeah
was
it
a
was
miracle.
actually honestly
So when
it
I
was
actually saw it, I was like I said, first of all I was like I don't know how these guys have done it because in the last interview also I was saying कि मुझे भी कोई ऑफर आया था कि कोई शॉर्ट फिल्म कर लो कोई न्यूयॉर्क से कोई ये वो and we'll send you everything the green screen पीछे ये वो I was like first COVID था वो and I really wanted to like enjoy and just relax because उस time पे everything was shut and you weren't thinking about work and all and it was the first time the entire family was together like this. I was getting to spend so much time with my father. But the fact that these guys, did it and they did it so
through it,
well.
yes. Yeah, it was pretty
The
kick.
show was gripping and when I, music also played a very, very important part in me saying yes to this show because I was like, what is this music? I was tripping on the music.
That's awesome.
yeah,
I
And I
want to
made
now break this and go to one very honest question. जब आप लोगों को पता चला कि संजय जी के साथ काम करना है, I'm sorry यार, like I'm just going to fangirl a little bit. पहला ख्याल क्या था बोला क्या इनको because when I first met him I was just like oh my god बिना पायल के बज रहे हैं घुंघरू ऐसे हुआ क्या what was and did you ever tell
पहले मैं आंसर करता हूँ मेरा फैन बॉय जब मुझे ये ऑफर हुआ सीजन 1 एंड एवरीथिंग तो मतलब कि इट वाज समथिंग सो डिफरेंट द वे इट वाज रिटन एंड यू वर गेटिंग और इट वाज आई विल बी ऑनेस्ट कि पूरा होता ना कि शॉट बाय शॉट वो इतना लिखा भी नहीं था बिकॉज दे वांटेड टू नो वेदर दिस शो कैन हैपन और नॉट
जी
हैपन सो besides that 15 pager for me my fanboy moment before they say it was the cast
क्या बात
it was such an interesting and intriguing cast and I said कि my brain is not working इनका तो चल ही रहा होगा because हम सब गलती नहीं कर सकते यार हम सब गलती नहीं कर सकते तो मुझे तो ये लगा कि इन्होंने हाँ बोल दिया है यार मैं भी हाँ ही बोल देता हूँ यार। किस चार अच्छे 4-5 लोग जब तक साइन थे, मैंने बोला यार कि अच्छा है, इंटरेस्टिंग है,
Correct.
यू नो, सब लगता है ये बहुत ये एकदम क्वेश्चन पूछने वाले हैं, और आई वाज सो राइट। श्वेता तो इतना क्वेश्चन पूछती है, बाप रे बाप।
अच्छा।
हाँ, मतलब मैंने स्कूल में इतने आंसर नहीं किए जितने लकीली मुझसे नहीं पूछा,
डायरेक्टर से पूछे।
वो जो अभी मैं बाकी सब नहीं बोलूँगा।
अच्छा, संजय सर को मिलने से पहले और मिलने के बाद दो चीजें जो मतलब जो ऑब्जर्वेशंस थी।
और मिलने से पहले जो भी था, पर मिलने के बाद
जो भी था
बिकॉज इतना कुछ स्ट्रॉन्ग वो इमेज नहीं थी इन द सेंस कि क्या होंगे अबाउट एनीबडी, मतलब बिकॉज आई फील वो एक परसीव्ड इमेज होती है, सो नॉट
Yeah.
अबाउट हिम, आई लाइक टू नॉट हैव एन इमेज अबाउट एनीबडी बिकॉज आई वांट टू नो द रियल पर्सन। मिलने के बाद जो था, मतलब देयर इज सो मच लव एंड रिस्पेक्ट, बिकॉज आप इतना सीखते हो, एंड यू नो योर को एक्टर्स, हम जो ऑन स्क्रीन देखते हैं वो तो हमारी जर्नीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती हैं, बट मी पर्सनली व्हाट इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट इज आप 12 घंटे सेट पे बिताते हो, 12 से 14 या 15, उस टाइम क्या होता है, क्योंकि आपकी रियल ग्रोथ तब होती है। एंड वर्किंग विद हिम, यू नो, ही इज सच अ गाइड, नॉट जस्ट प्रोफेशनली बट हाउ टू बी ऑन स्क्रीन एंड ऑफ स्क्रीन, and how he is, and because how he manages himself, his career, his kids, तो वहाँ बहुत सीखने को मिला।
I think the first time I met him was at Grand Hyatt when we were going to, right before we were going to get into
Trident. We were doing the
Trident.
readings, yeah. We were shooting there at the first shift.
For the reading, for the first time I was meeting all of them, and that's when I met him, and we were doing a little bit of reading, and you know, he was asking all the right questions, and you know, they were thought provoking, and I was like, interesting, because his image is very different, and he was asking such serious questions and going into the background and like all of that, and घुंघरू वाला वो वाला अलग image है, right?
Actually, because when we started what she's talking about in Trident, and you know, like we had a new director on board.
Yeah.
And then you were hearing the, you know, you knew about the script, but the new director was on board. So you always, because we were guided by Nikhil Bhatt, and suddenly in the second season a new director had come.
Yeah.
And we needed to get into the same, you know, it's just
So
not about how
वही
good the
होना
director
चाहिए, बिल्कुल।
is or not. It is that we should be in the same wavelength. Because हम already हमने अपने एक पैटर्न बना दिया सीजन 1 में. Now he is coming into it, and the director is the captain of the ship. But here, for some reason, we were more experienced than the director because we had already lived this season one.
Yeah.
So fortunately, that's the reason we did a lot of readings, and Abhishek is very, very talented. But I just feel that when a new director comes in a different thing, like suppose she's done so many seasons of, now she's been the 3rd season of Mirzapur. Now suddenly अगर मिर्जापुर में एक नया director आ जाए, तो ये लोग का जो पहले 4-5 दिन जो इनसिक्योरिटी होगी कि हमको तो पता है हम क्या कर रहे हैं. I hope he doesn't, मतलब you know whether he can.
ये बहुत रिलेटेबल है सर. कोई भी ऑफिस में नया बॉस आता है यही होता है कि भाई ये हमको समझ
तो
ले.
हमें बताओगे.
So he asked more
हम कौन
questions than
हैं?
Shweta did actually in those readings.
For a change that day. That was the only day in this whole process of season 1 and 2.
What I have realized is that
मुझे और तारीफ नहीं
Gone
सुननी.
Game season 2 तो आप देखेंगे ही, लेकिन Gone Game season 3 जो होना चाहिए, it should just be 3 of them in a room.
In a room like this.
और एक कैमरा होना चाहिए, एक फोन जिसपे तीनों शूट करेंगे. That would be fun. I don't know if that's going to happen, and I hope it never happens because that means we'll all be inside the house. हमको ये नहीं करना है, but correct. Arlene, we don't doubt you. We don't doubt.
अरे यार पता है यार. सब अच्छे से हुआ.
Oh God, no. हमेशा बातें बहुत ज़्यादा करनी है मुझे और वक्त बहुत कम होता है. But having said that, thank you so much for always gracing my show और मुझे वक्त देने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Pleasure is all ours. Thank you for doing always such a great interview.
Thank you so much.
Radio Nasha.